All right, it's Friday, January 9th, 2026 here. I'm going to make a quick video because I got to get on the road. I'm going to a concert tonight, but I wanted to touch base. There was a comment from a dear friend of mine that she made on the post I had yesterday concerning the protest that I went to in downtown Syracuse. Real quick, I want to address this because I posted the video essentially saying at the end that I have some faith that we're gonna find some better times. That a number of people have said, historians, Heather Cox Richardson, perfect example of it, Robert Reich, have both said that the sleeping bear is awakening. And I'm going to show you something. So this is her comment right here. She says, it's actually the one right here. It's, how do you maintain hope that we're actually going to make it out of this hellscape? Well, let me tell you, it's not easy, first of all, but for me, and again, I want to make this quick without getting overtly political. I was raised to believe in this country. I was raised with a sense of, or the ideals, to believe that the founding fathers had the right intentions when they wrote our Constitution. I believe in the balance of power. I believe in the will of the American people to do what is right. I believe in the desire that most people have for liberty and for freedom. And when you boil this all down, what we have seen in the last year is clearly a dissolving of that balance of power, specifically in the Supreme Court as well as the legislature and Congress. There is a definite sense that there is a segment of the Republican Party that is beholden to Donald Trump. And that is not, you can't deny that. I mean, we've seen it definitely with Mike Johnson and the way in which he has done the bidding of the White House, keeping legislation from coming forward, as well as when you think about the number of people that post on social media posts in support of the things that Donald Trump is doing, along with the Republican Party. Now, the question is why or how do I still maintain hope? Okay, I'm going to distill this down to as few reasons as I can and as quickly as I can, because I don't want this to be a long video and I don't want to do any kind of rage baiting political stuff. So the reality is that in this country, the only way he maintains power and maintains this authoritarian control in the way in which he's trying to do it is if he suspends elections. Elections have to stop because elections have consequences. And in the event that the midterm elections in November deliver sweeping Democratic wins in Congress, Donald Trump's going to be facing a congressional landscape that is not to his advantage. All right. We have been seeing through every special election in 2025, as well as before that, really, to be honest with you, 15% on average swings in every district from how they went for Trump in the election against Kamala Harris. Now, what that means, if you see 15% swings across the board, right? And this is before the shooting that took place, before Venezuela, before they started talking about Greenland again, right? So this is before these things. We see a 15% swing toward Democrats in nearly every election. Okay. Now, with almost the entire House up for re-election, that puts a lot of things at play, because in reality, while there are states that are decidedly red and there are districts that are decidedly red, any district in the United States that goes as less than a 15-point swing to Republicans, meaning that in a normal election, a Republican representative, so whether we're talking about a state like either rural New York, where I'm at, or whether you're talking about Alabama, or whether you're talking about Florida or Mississippi or Texas, or wherever you are that you have one of these demonstrably red districts, if they are not normally winning by more than 15 points, that district is up for play. So what we call purplish districts, right? The ones that are not necessarily even toss-ups, I mean, even ones that generally go 5 to 10 points Republican, those are now in play. And given his recent actions and Trump's statement yesterday when he said that he is only bound by his own moral compass when making international decisions, that's scary rhetoric. That is dangerous language. And so people are going to vote their conscience. They're going to vote when they see these kinds of things, when they see Kristi Noem calling a 37-year-old mother a domestic terrorist because she tried to escape being apprehended by ICE agents who are not lawful police department. When those kind of statements are being made, when that kind of rhetoric's being thrown around, when that kind of hateful speech is being used to polarize our country, the sleeping giant that people like Heather Cox Richardson and Robert Reich talk about, those are the independent voters, or even worse, the voters that generally don't vote, the people that sit home for elections that are going to suddenly feel overwhelmingly compelled to go out and vote this November. So unless Donald Trump ceases the elections, unless he finds some way to stop them, which, by the way, there are a lot of videos out there. I don't have time to go into that, but the idea of stopping elections is a dramatically impossible one, right? So as long as the election happens, he's going to lose. And then we've also seen, I mean, if you consider where Congress was, specifically the House of Representatives, where the House of Representatives was at the beginning of his term to where they are now, how many, I don't even have the number offhand, but it's been a large number of Republican representatives have said that they're going to retire at the end of this term. Some have even retired in real time. Marjorie Taylor Greene walked out. So that is happening more and more often. We also had a representative die in office the last 2 or 3 days. So that all these things squeak the numbers down. And then if there's an overwhelming blue wave, well, now he's without power. Now he's likely going to be impeached. If the Senate also flips, which is possible, you know, at the state level, it's a little bit harder. But if the Senate also flips, you know, I think his time might be numbered. Now, the other thing is he's clearly unhealthy. The man has got a noticeable limp. He's got discoloration on the backs of his hands. Now, both hands. It was just the left, and now it's the right as well, or the other way around. Forgive me. You know, he's clearly saying things that are indicative that there may be a mental health crisis going on, either dementia or early onset. Well, not early onset. He's 80 years old, or Alzheimer's. His father notoriously suffered from Alzheimer's. There are a lot of anecdotal stories from both Trump's niece as well as other people that have known the family that they actually set his father up with an office and acted like he was still in charge of things up until the point he died. His Alzheimer's was so bad, he didn't realize that he was without his faculties. So all of these things give me some faith that we're going to be okay. Can it get worse before it gets better? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, a number of things can go bad. It's not, especially not good. Like domestic things affect us domestically, motivate people to make change, motivate lawmakers to kind of step in. What's really scary is the international stuff. You know, pulling out of all the climate accords, essentially trying to end NATO. You know, taking over shipping containers and oil freighters and kidnapping presidents of other countries and putting them in U.S. jails. All of these things are terrible. But I do have faith that Republicans are ready to stop him. Now, here's the other thing. We talk about the November elections, but we could actually see some things start to happen even before that. Now, it's pretty easy to see that a lot of Republicans, especially in the House, are afraid to come out and speak out against Donald Trump because, as he's done in the past, he threatens to primary them. So if Representative A from State B in a purplish district is concerned about being, you know, primaried by some MAGA Republican, then they're going to play the party line tentatively, right? But in just a couple months, I think less than 2 months, is the filing deadline. So if a purple district Republican who thinks the stuff going on in DC is beyond the pale, all of a sudden goes beyond the filing deadline, now they don't have somebody running against them. The only way, even if they're in a fairly safe district, the only way to ensure that they're going to win this election or even give themselves a chance is if they come out against Donald Trump and his policies as they approach the general election. That's only going to change for those representatives in purplish districts that don't have a primary contender. If they're going to fight a primary, then they're going to burn their money. They may lose to a MAGA Republican because the MAGA base is going to come out and vote in a primary in force, but then they're almost guaranteed to lose the general election. Again, common sense policies, democracy wins. So those are the basic reasons why I still have faith that we're going to be okay after all this. You know, and we also, you know, we just saw Republicans in the House, you know, break party lines and join with Democrats to pass ACA extensions on the subsidies. We'll see what happens in the Senate. We haven't gotten any information on that yet, but like there's fractures already there. And the Supreme Court, even in a number of cases recently, have started to side more and more with the Constitution and now with Trump. So that's what I got for you today. If you like this video, please share it, like it, whatever you can. Follow me, subscribe, whatever it is, wherever you follow me on the socials. Once again, I'm Christopher Hess. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.